vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. Kashyyyk is a lush but simple and undeveloped world. I would not have expected to find the alien technology of a star map here.
Alright, talking about retracing Revan and Malak's steps. Revan and Malak went to Tatooine and got that map as well. And how did they get it? How did they get rid of the Krayt Dragon? Was there no Krayt Dragon? Did they kill it? Did they use the Force to tame it? Was there not even a cave there? Did they excavate it with excavators and got the map like that? How did they know it was there? How did they get around the Krayt Dragon, and why do we have to get around the Krayt Dragon in our playthrough, essentially? Like, in the story of the game. It's not that it's only my playthrough that has to deal with the Krayt Dragon. Like, how did Revan and Malak do it? And what sense does that make? It makes very little sense, is what I'm trying to say. Also, these dialogues are kind of shit, because the first one, it looked like the star map was on the first floor, and the second one, do you think the Wookiees are involved? If you don't have motivation to talk to Bastila, like we don't, because it's a zero facts given playthrough, we don't care about our crew members and side quests, mostly. We're not interested in her opinion whether the Wookiees were involved. We already know the star map is predating a lot of species, and Wookiees are very primitive, so the most the Wookiees could be involved in would be moving the star map from treetops over down to the ground for some reason. And how did the map get on top of the tree instead of being planted firmly in the ground? Also, as well, you know, it's been 50,000 years, all the climate changes, growth and shit. This could be covered in rubble, like it could have been on Tatooine. Talking about how there could not have been a cave for the map to be in the first place, so there wouldn't be a dragon. So it could have been underground. It could be underground already. So why is it there? It hardly matters, and Wookiees wouldn't be involved. You wouldn't talk this over with Bastila. But the first one is just exposition to nobody. The players, the audience already knows this. It looked like the star map was on the forest floor. There's nothing to discuss about that. And the third one is just kind of rude. Like, the only thing, well, for our purposes, the reason, what I would say, is that, alright, looks like the map is on the bottom of the forest, on the forest floor. Pack your gear and let's go there. Let's get there. There wouldn't be any discussions, but with all this, I think let's have a go at the number 2, maybe. Do you think Wookiees are involved?
The Wookiees of Kashyyyk make their home high among the Rosha branches. Only their bravest warriors dare to descend into the forbidding depths of the forest.
Yeah, exactly.
The star map is located far beneath us on the planet's surface, as our vision seems to suggest. It's unlikely the Wookiees even know of its existence. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location.
Oh, surely. Yeah, we'll know everything about the star map once we find the fucking star map. Thank you for this obvious statement, Captain Obvious. Alright. So, also Zalbar. So, this is the only place Zalbar talks about his home world. Well, he talks about the planet we're on, because it's his home world. And maybe we could go over this, but we also don't care. And if we take him with us, he'll be locked away in the over at the village, because he ran away from a planet. Is that something you do? He ran away. He ran from Kashyyyk because he had some family issues, actually. And we picked up some gear lately, so I want to change a few things. I already know what I'm looking for, so I won't be going over this too much. I want a crystal. And in the meantime, let me tell you that I'm gonna pick a sigil because it's more damage, and Krayt Dragon because it's flat attack bonus +3 and an energy +2 flat, so that's good. And we're gonna change items in Bastila's saber. And also we had a we had Bondar in our sword, in our saber, so that's what was stunning the Tuskens over at Tatooine, because HK wasn't using any sniper shot, and Bastila's forces have different effects when the enemy is stunned, as well as my forces have different effects. So that must have been what was stunning them. So she's gonna get the critical, because why not? And then Rubat, because that's more damage. Now, here on my docket it says that I should talk about YouTube, because YouTube also fucked up lately. I mentioned somewhere before that Facebook is requiring your government-issued identification document to verify your account, which is a shit idea, and I went over it, or tried to went over it in some other video, so we're not gonna discuss that again. But now YouTube wants that as well. I wanted to watch a video that was age restricted, so I logged into my account because it was set as older than 18 years. Me being older than 18 years old. 18 years old, over 18 years old. So I logged in there, and it said, well, you need to verify your account. You need to send us your government issued ID so we can verify you. And I don't know what kind of algorithm they're using, so I'm gonna try to cheat and post something fake over there until they accept it, because I don't know. I don't know what. Well, I'll be over this soon enough. So I'll try to cheese that, because obviously, like I've been over before as well, YouTube boasts that there are no children below 13 years of age on their platform either. So I don't know, why would they want your ID, right? It's not like there is anything for children to see here. And also the censoring. So not only does YouTube require a government issued ID now from you, it also requires, well, it also goes to shit with every other thing. Not only does it, of course, unsubscribe you from channels without your knowledge or consent, it also deletes your comments. And I'm pretty sure it deletes your comments because of YouTube censorship, as opposed to word filters set up by the creators. Because when I was posting some comments containing the word fucking, it was being deleted, and I have no reason to think the content maker would make it so PG or family friendly that they wouldn't allow comments using the word fucking in them around under their videos. So I'm pretty sure it's YouTube's shit. So that's kind of shit. I also have been over the issue of freedom of speech and digital bill of rights in some other video somewhere on my channel. Kinda, of course, mostly parroting somebody else's points. And also, I would like you to notice that the Giskas are now gone, so it took only one reload to get rid of them after administering the poison. So there is that. The problem is gone. Pretty quick. That's pretty good. Now we just need to swipe out all the corpses, or eat them. I don't know. I don't know what you do with Giskas. And yeah, it deletes your comments. Also, some other time I was posting a comment using some strong language, you know, the hard R words, and it wasn't the hard R words, but I had a pop-up saying, this comment might violate community guidelines. Are you sure you want to post it? I mean, yeah, I'm sure I want to post it. I don't care. And you don't get to tell me what I get to say or not. You're not the moral fucking guide or moral authority telling me or telling anyone how to behave and what to say, right? You're just a fucking corporation, and you're ruining this shit for everyone. It's, again, YouTube. There are no children below age of 13 on the platform. So what's the problem? Also, there's fucking a lot of adults on it, and there is, you know, not necessarily adult content in the sense of sex content, but there is content talking about adult things that would make the adults be the audience and also target for advertising, because, you know, as adults you can advertise things for adults to them. Adults are an audience as well. So why isn't anyone catering to them, only to children that are not supposed to be on the platform? So strong language and shit like that wouldn't violate community guidelines because adults use curses and at least should know how to use them. So there's that. And talking about censorship and trying not to have your videos demonetized or age restricted, because now they're gonna require a fucking ID from the government to prove that you're actually over 18. There are people who try to censor their content by when they have like material they read off of from some other comments from some other platforms, and they censor the curses while they read them, but they leave the picture of the word fucking on the screen, and no one is complaining and no one's doing anything about it. I mean, apparently YouTube is using the algorithms for speech recognition to recognize the curse words to age restrict your video, but they don't recognize picture to text algorithms, even though they exist and have existed for a while now as well. You can already take a picture of a text and it will translate it over at online translator from picture to text. So that exists, and they don't care about that. I don't know if they're gonna care about it eventually, but if you care so much about your audience and that you wouldn't want them to get spoiled by the curse words, why aren't you censoring the picture as well? You fucking retard. And also we've got a mission here, still in Tuscan's robes, because I forgot to change that. And yeah, also I swapped out Candras's gear, but I have to swap out somebody else's gear. Yeah. So it turns out that we've picked up a different sword, which is Krath Dire Sword. That's pretty good, even though it has a bit less of an attack modifier than Mission's prototype Vibroblade. But instead of Mission's prototype Vibroblade, we can use the prototype Vibroblade, or Mission's Vibroblade, the prototype Vibroblade, which is even better, and it's also balanced, so I'm not gonna use the Krath Sword in the offhand. We're gonna just swap those around. So that's beneficial. Now, anytime I decide to take Zalbar out to dish out some fucking damage, maybe I should take him out this time, because... Oh no, I'm hanging out with HK, because he's a more fun character. Well, oh well, doesn't matter, hardly matters. I'm the one carrying the team anyway. I'm the wizard in the team. So there's that. YouTube is fucking up everything, really. And, you know, where are the laws about monopoly in here? They're fucking gone. So the last thing I want to mention in our in my one-man podcast, essentially over an entire let's play playthrough of a game, is that I had some more time to play different games essentially, because Apex Legends season is coming to an end. There is less reason to play that game, nothing to really unlock or collect to get it on time. So I played Dark Souls 2, which I had for a while now, and I would like to thank the anonymous generous donation of that game, which I'm certain is not, he won't hear that, because, you know, how would they know that all this is related. But to play DS2 I needed a gamepad, so I decided to borrow one from an associate, and the gamepad pretty much came fucked up. I was hoping it would be, you know, in good condition, considering how it's branded PlayStation 3 first-party controller, so I wouldn't expect it to be shit, as opposed to like $2-4 third-party knockoff. But it wasn't. And the issue was, once I plugged it in, and I squeezed it too hard, or twisted it a bit, the shell, you know, random inputs would show up. When I moved the analog stick, it would like activate the D-pad, or start using the face buttons, the symbol buttons, and that's shit. So the first solution, because I didn't know how to fix it, was to just be gentle with it. But as soon as I got to a region where some stress was put on me, I put some stress onto the controller. So that fucked up my play. So I got angry and just googled some solutions, and so I put in random inputs, and a video came up in which dude had a similar problem, but not exactly the same. He just had random inputs out of nowhere, while I had random inputs where I tried to press something already. So I had like double input or shit like that. I mean, it wasn't activating without me doing anything with the controller. But I watched it and I learned how it's built, and I decided to fix it, especially since I actually fixed a TV for a guy I know. So I decided I've got the technical know-how to operate with the gamepad. So I took it apart, and it turns out that, you know, some devices have data and power as well, connected between parts with a ribbon, which is like a cable, only flat, with a ribbon, and that ribbon goes into a socket and locks in. PlayStation 3 gamepad has this ribbon just touching the contacts, and over time there is a rubber pad, like a rubber foam pad on top of it to put pressure on the ribbon to keep the contacts in line. But over time it loses its springiness and stops pressing it down well enough. So you need to boost it up with stuffing something underneath there. Anything really, as long as it stays in the same place and is a bit thicker. And that did fix it actually. Which is, you know, just have your wires touch each other, not be connected physically in any significant way to prevent them from moving around. Great design, great solution, amazing. And with the last thing that I want to say on my little podcast here is the software that I use with that controller. So again, I had Dark Souls for a while. I borrowed the pad a while back as well, but I needed something to emulate the Xbox controller because it's a PlayStation controller. So I downloaded SCP Toolkit, which was supposed to deal with that. And the problem was, every time I reset the computer, restarted it, or power it off, down and up again, it would stop recognizing the device plugged in. I would replug it and it wouldn't recognize it, so I had to reinstall the drivers every time I wanted to use the gamepad, which was shit. So I went out and looked for solutions because I was angry at that as well, and nothing really came up other than it didn't work for other people with Bluetooth connection other than instead of the wire. So that existed, and that wasn't my problem. So I decided to see if there is an update. I just downloaded an installer again, and the problem is the SCP Toolkit, it was installed on my computer for over a year now, and every day at 10 in the morning, or as soon as I turned the computer on, it checked for updates, and it never found any fucking updates. But when I downloaded an installer and reinstalled the software, it worked. But automatically it couldn't just fucking fix it. Amazing design. Fuck me. So there we are. There are the rants for today. There's the story and gameplay progression for today. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you stuck around. And hopefully we'll see each other in the next episode where I play something else for you for free. In the meantime, interact with the video. Leave a comment telling me whether you had any similar experience or any other comment, you know, just show the engagement, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit your enemies, hit your fucking family. Like, apparently you can just put the onus on them to reconcile with you and not on yourself, right, like we had with Mission. And see you next time. Bye.